New Zealand is looking for a new leader following Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern's shock resignation. She will step down next month. The ruling Labour Party will meet on Sunday to elect her replacement, while a general election is expected in October.
I'm announcing that I will not be seeking re-election and that my term as Prime Minister will conclude no later than the 7th of February.
Holding back tears, Jacinda Ardern stunned the world as she announced she'd be stepping down as the country's leader. Her unexpected resignation brings the curtain down on a stunning political career. She's steered New Zealand through the COVID-19 pandemic and the economic challenges that have followed. She also won international praise for her handling of the Christchurch terror attack and the White Island volcanic eruption. But the crises clearly took a personal toll.
I know what this job takes. And I know that I no longer have enough in the tank to do it justice. It's that simple.
Ms. Ardern became a global icon for left-leaning politics and women in leadership. She was the world's youngest female head of government at age 37 when she was elected in 2017. A year later, she became the second elected world leader to ever give birth while in office, after Pakistan's Benazir Bhutto in 1990. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called Ms. Ardern an inspiration who has led with strength. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the difference she made is immeasurable.
Politicians are human. We give all that we can for as long as we can, and then it's time. And for me, it's time.
While Ms. Ardern is widely popular on the global stage, Kiwis appear to have mixed feelings about her tenure.
Overseas, she's definitely viewed very well, whereas I think internally she's probably maybe lost the public's acceptance a little bit. I'd like to think her legacy will be her response to COVID and how well that showed everyone overseas how to do it.
Well, I think she needs a break, to be honest. Yeah, she's done a lot.
So you don't sound that surprised.
Well, I don't think she was doing very well in the polls anyway, so, it's a good time for her to step down.
Ms. Ardern's successor has yet to be determined. The ruling Labour Party will vote for a new leader on Sunday. The winner of that poll will be New Zealand's Prime Minister until the next general election is held in October. Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Grant Robertson has already ruled himself out for the top job. But potential contenders may include Education Minister Chris Hipkins, who led the country's pandemic response, Housing Minister Megan Woods, Justice Minister Kiritapu Allen, and Immigration Minister Michael Wood.
Earlier, CNA's Ottilie Edwards spoke with Jane Patterson, a political editor with Radio New Zealand, and she outlined some possible factors behind Ms. Ardern's decision.
I think looking at the prospect of election year this year in New Zealand, and it was going to be a very hard road for her as Prime Minister and Labour leader to secure a third term. Of course, Labour came to power under Jacinda Ardern in 2020 with a huge mandate, where they came to power for a second term with a massive mandate. She was very, very popular, just blew the opposition out of the water, but has had a very tough couple of years, and her personal ratings and her party ratings have really been on the slide. So that was absolutely one element that she would have been looking at, the tough race in election year. And also past that, if you run the race, then you had to commit to serve a whole 3-year term. Obviously, she looked at that. It was too daunting a prospect in terms of the commitment that she would have to make. And personal reasons, she has a 5-year-old daughter, or a daughter turning 5 this year. Neve will be going to school. So when you have those kind of landmarks or milestones in the family, that when you would, as a parent, not just the politician, start to review things. So I think there are a lot of factors, but definitely the political environment here in New Zealand, the backlash against the Prime Minister, are very, very wearing very thin. And we heard actually that there was an incident over the summer where she was out for lunch in a public restaurant, and someone got up and swore at her and abused her in public, and that was one of the tipping points. Obviously making her think whether she was able to sustain that kind of reaction and that kind of political environment for another 3 to 4 years.